All right, we are back. There are no more leaks in my studio, which has allowed me to create this lovely video for you all. Today, we're snagging a look at the 10, in my opinion, best budget cards from Wilds of Eldraine. The new fairy tale themed set has been out for a little while now, and before we head off into another spoiler season, I wanted to showcase 10 options under $1 that you might have missed. Now let's dive in. Our first card today is Eerie Interference. 2 and a white instant from Wilds of Eldraine. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to you and creatures you control this turn by creatures. Listen close, your boy loves fog effects, and we now have another really fun choice to add to the list. I don't care about 3 mana, so you can shut your little mouth about that, because I can afford to hold up 3 mana to prevent a lethal swing from my opponents. That's classic fog stuff. However, I also think this has some fun applications on our combat steps. I think we all can agree blockers are annoying. They can make getting in for damage much more difficult, but never fear because this card is here, folks. Notably, this card does not prevent all damage, just damage to us and our creatures by creatures. So, if we cast this in our main phase or in response to blockers, we can make sure our attacking army emerges from combat without a scratch. I love this card. Another awesome fog effect to add to the list. All right, next up we got Ingenious Prodigy. X and a blue creature human wizard. It has Skulk. This creature can't be blocked by creatures with greater power. Ingenious Prodigy enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, if Ingenious Prodigy has 1 or more +1/+1 counters on it, you may remove a +1/+1 counter from it. If you do, draw a card and it's a 0/1. Dude, I absolutely mess with this card. I love seeing an X cost in blue, that just geeks me, but moreover, I love the versatility of this card. If you have mana to spend, you can pump it into this card and have a draw engine for a good number of turns. Or if you're just feeling more aggressive, the inclusion of Skulk on this card makes it fun to attack with, and I recommend pairing this with Double Strike to make sure you get the most out of that Skulk ability. Add to that 2 very relevant creature types, and this card is looking like one of my faves from the set, and I'll obviously always root for the little guy. Short Kings, sound off in the comments please, so I know I'm not alone. Anyways, let's move on to the next card, which is Minstrel. 1 and a black, creature horror. When Minstrel dies, create a food token. It's an artifact with sacrifice. You know what a food token is. And it's a 3/1. I'm absolutely certain I could highlight a different card that's under $1 here, but I mean, come on, dude. This is literally a horror made out of candy cane. I can't not talk about it. But besides the absolute insanity that is this card's art, it's honestly not bad. On death, we get a food token, so this card does double duty in sacrifice decks that want some bang for their buck. And also, this card is a 2 mana 3/1, which is actually kind of beefy, dude. Not much else to say. This is right up there with Ginger Brew in terms of amazing flavorful food cards. And next up, we are looking at Grabby Giant. 3 and a red creature giant. It has an adventure side, which is called That's Mine. 1 and a red instant adventure, create a treasure token. On the creature side, it is a 4/3 with reach with an ability 2 and a red, sacrifice an artifact or land, draw a card. Well, would you look at that, 4 cards in and we're already looking at our cheapest card of the day. This card is 1 cent, folks, but it's got utility and versatility, which we're always looking for here at the Jank Center. We like options, baby. The adventure part of this card helps us ramp, especially if we're in mono red or care about treasure synergies. Then, once we move to cast the creature side, we get a beefy 4/3 with reach that can also help us draw cards in a pinch. Oh, and you can run this in giant decks if you want. Not giant decks, but giant decks. You know what I mean? All right, let's move on to Royal Treatment. 1 green mana instant, target creature you control gains hexproof until end of turn. Create a Royal Roll token attached to that creature. If you control another roll on it, put that one into the graveyard. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has Ward 1. This protection spell slots right into the family of mono green protection spells like Snakeskin Veil and Tamiyo's Safekeeping. I really dig this card because not only can we protect our creature in a pinch, but we also get some additional protection after the fact with the Royal Roll token we get. Ward 1 is sneaky good, and late in the game, 1 extra mana can affect a lot of gameplay decisions, and this card gets even better if you happen to be running enchantment or aura synergies. A+ card right here, folks. I'm moving on to the next one, which is Johan Sorcerer. 2 blue-red legendary creature human wizard. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. Once each turn, you may cast an instant or sorcery spell from the top of your library. You still pay its costs, and timing rules still apply. That sounded like an infomercial. Anyways, and it's a 2/5. So this is a really fun uncommon commander here, folks. I don't think I need to spend a long time on it because we all know being able to look at and cast the top card of your library, in addition to what's in your hand, is a good thing. This also synergizes really well with scrying. I also think building this around creatures with flash or including cards like Vidalcan Orrery would be a really fun way to take this card. Don't sleep on cheap commanders, folks. Let your creativity flourish. All right, that's my TED Talk for the day. Let's move on to number 7, which is the Apprentices Folly, which I believe in terms of lore actually is about Johan? Question mark? Let me know in the comments if that's correct. Anyways, it's 2 blue-red, and it's a saga enchantment. As this saga enters and after your draw step, add a lore counter, sacrifice after chapter 3. Chapters 1 and 2 are choose target non-token creature you control that doesn't have the same name as a token you control. Create a token that's a copy of it, except it isn't legendary, is a reflection in addition to its other types, and has haste. And chapter 3 is sacrifice all reflections you control. Dude, this card smacks. Any deck that wants to copy stuff should run this because creating non-legendary copies of cards is, I've heard, pretty decent. I also feel like this could make for some really explosive turns with something like Delina or Orvar in play. It's definitely a card I want to include in my eventual Riku of 2 Reflections deck. Now let us mosey on over to the Goose Mother. X and a green-blue legendary creature Bird Hydra. It has flying. The Goose Mother enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. When the Goose Mother enters the battlefield, create half X food tokens rounded up. Whenever the Goose Mother attacks, you may sacrifice a food. If you do, draw a card and it's a 2/2. Bro, come on, a Goose Hydra? This set is based. No one can convince me otherwise. But I do dig this card just in general. On ETB, not only do we beef this thing up, but we also get a ton of food tokens, which we get to sacrifice when we attack for card draw. I love that this leans in a Voltron direction because, yes, absolutely I want to swing in with a giant Bird Hydra. How did you know? Okay, up next we got Likeness Looter, which is blue and a black creature fairy shapeshifter. It has flying, it has tap, draw a card, then discard a card. You can pay X. Likeness Looter becomes a copy of target creature card in your graveyard with mana value X, except it has flying and this ability. Activate only as a sorcery, and it's a 1/1. And here, folks, we have our most expensive card of the day, and what a fun little card this is. It's got looting on a stick, and that's always good for searching for what we need and tossing what we don't. However, this card can be a boon for us because we won't ever have to lose what we discard. This looter can just become the thing we discard, which I absolutely love. It's the MTG version of reduce, reuse, and recycle, folks. I'm currently thinking of slotting this into my Kamiz build in order to capitalize off the cards I discard for conniving. Speaking of conniving, I'd like to connive you to the Discord, which is public. Oh god, you should join the Discord. The link is in the description. We talk about sets and spoilers, cards, budget brews, and anything and everything under the MTG sun. We also host monthly giveaways of fun MTG product every single month. Also, guys, if you want to support all the fun stuff we do here at the Jank Center, including these long-form videos, shorts, Discord giveaways, and the like, feel free to check out the Patreon. We have a $1 and $3 tier to keep it super accessible for you. Patrons of the channel get an additional entry in giveaways, but you do not need to be a patron to get in on the action. So, if any of this sounds appealing to you, the link is in the description, and I will see you in there. And now we shall move on to the last card of the day, which is Woodland Acolyte. 2 and a white, creature, human cleric. It also has an adventure side to it. The adventure is Mend the Wilds. 1 green mana instant adventure. Put target permanent card from your graveyard on top of your library. Then the creature side of it is when Woodland Acolyte enters the battlefield, draw a card, and it's a 2/2. I feel like I've said versatility like 10 million times in this video, but versatility, dude. This card has that. For 1 mana, we get some graveyard recursion, and then for 3 more mana, we can get a body plus card draw, which in this case means we get to snag whatever we get back from our yard from the top of our deck. This card is also just generally good in blink strategies for obvious reasons, and is a cheeky human/cleric if you care about human or cleric synergies. And that does it for this week's video, folks. I hope you found it helpful. If you enjoyed this content, make sure you give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what cards you love from Wilds of Eldraine. Did I miss anything? I'm always down there in the comments interacting with you guys, so come on down and have a chat with me. And don't forget to join the EDH Jank Center Discord at the link in the description if you want like 10 million new best friends. Okay, bye!